Welcome to Vietnam in 1979. I am playing a game called, it's a golden oldie called Win Steel Panthers Main Battle Tank. Steel Panthers is an ancient game, but a fun war game that has been around forever. And WINSPMBT, or which is also known as Windows Steel Panthers Main Battle Tank, is a modern day version of the original Steel Panthers series. There's a Win SPMBT and there's a Win Steel Panthers World War II version. Both are good. They're still for sale. The price is pretty steep, but you can pick it up on Shrapnel Games for $39.95, and I think right now it's on sale. I got it for $5 off, which isn't great, but they do offer that sale, which is better than paying full price. But you can get it for free if you want to try it for free. It's free to download the lower resolution version. But if you need, if you want a higher resolution version where you can actually see the game, you really want to pick up and spend the money for the more expensive version. Just to give you a little bit of an overview of Steel Panthers Main Battle Tank, there's a lot of scenarios. This one has over 300. So as you go, you can see the number of scenarios. The time frame covered by Steel Panthers Main Battle Tank, or SPMBT, is basically 1946 through 2020. So there's a ton. I'm up to 299, 324, 355 scenarios. And it does annually, it generally gets updated, and they just keep adding in more scenarios. Lots of World War III type scenarios with the Soviets, and a lot of them I have not played. Some I can admit to being a huge fan of Steel Panthers World at War, or SPWAW, a World War II version of Steel Panthers, and these are all iterations of mods of the original Steel Panthers game. There was Steel Panthers 1, Steel Panthers 2, which was modern warfare, and then Steel Panthers 3, which is a brigade level system that really struggled a little bit. Well, it struggled to really get popular. I like Steel Panthers 3. All these games I played a lot of hours in. I haven't played it in a long time. Steel Panthers Main Battle Tank and Steel Panthers World War II, the Windows versions, I have not played like I did Steel Panthers World at War, the older Steel Panthers games. So these are relatively new to me. So I've played hours on them, just not as many. So we're going to give China Punishes Vietnam scenario. This is a scenario in 1979 where China invaded Vietnam in order to punish the Vietnamese for incursions into China. And their goal was to take this border town of Lang Son. So the Chinese were attacking into Vietnam, and this is that scenario. I'm going to try to play for a little while. Lastly, it's been a while since I'm playing as the human. The human is the Chinese, and the computer's going to be North Vietnam. I don't know how many turns this is. That's what's bugging me. And so China's going to be on the attack here with an armored assault force. I've seen this scenario. I think I played it on the modern warfare version, Steel Panthers 2. I think it was on there. And there's a lot of customizability into the play type on this game. But this is a very old game, so the graphics are really dated. But the play style is a lot of fun. The tactics are good. And well, it's just kind of fun to what's better than when assaulting a battalion of T-55s and assaulting an enemy position. Now it is turn-based. It's not we go. It's I go, you go. But hey, it's not the earliest. It's not it's an older version of a game. So China's going to start first here. I don't know how many turns there are. Let's start. So we're looking at what China has as far as a force here, and I've got a considerable assault force. And this is the advantage of the high-res version. You can see the graphics are dated, but you can definitely tell things out pretty well. And you can go over here to the plus sign and zoom in nice and tight if you want to, or you can zoom out and get a better picture of the big picture. The objectives are what appears to be Lang Son Vietnam Village, and we're going to have to assault in and take these positions. Now, this road is, the nice thing about this attack is it's really nice and easy for armor, because I'm being sarcastic, because you've got what looks like essentially a company of armor here. What do we got? T-55s? T-59. Oh, it's the Chinese Type 59. Okay. And probably some, yeah, SU-100s, ancient assault guns. So essentially we've got platoon of tanks, base under strength company of tanks, and what looks like a section of SU-100s. So not very many tanks. You can get reinforcements as the game goes on, and we're driving down a single road with woods on either side. Now we've got tons of infantry. These are infantry here, so take a look and see what we've got. This is a platoon. That's a platoon. Maybe two platoons here. Platoon size element. Platoon. So that's a company. That's a company. Well, two companies of infantry and a company of tanks assaulting into Lang Son. We have objectives here, and if you look up here, when I scroll over objective, you can see the value. So this objective has a value of 120. This one's 60. What do we got here? 60? 120. 60. 120. 120. Got to get into the city. The bridge is 60. And you got artillery as well. So, okay, so what's the plan here? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to advance the rear elements of the Chinese forces forward, trying to secure this road here, and so we can pull up our armor. I don't want to get the armor. One of the key sins in any Steel Panthers game is keep your armor behind your infantry, because if you get your armor out front, your infantry is just going to get, or your armor is just going to get slaughtered. So I'm going to take some risks here with this infantry, because I want them to screen the armored advance. What's this, a recon element? And yeah, if you look down here in the lower portion, you can see what type of element you're dealing with. Shots 6 and 5, that means they get 6 and 5 rounds, or you can take up to 6 shots per turn. And as you move, that goes down. By right-clicking on the unit, you can tell what the unit is about. So you've got some smoke, you've got scout section, and who the section leader is of the scout section is here, like probably a sergeant, and maybe not. It might just be a private. So I'm going to move all these elements forward, trying to keep them in cover. You can overlap units. This is a sniper, I would imagine. Yep. I'm going to advance him, but I'm going to keep my sniper in coverage. And if you right click, you can see what your unit can see, which is really nice. It's our RPG team, so we're going to move them up a little bit. I'm not going to leave them in the open. Key is to not leave your infantry in the open at the end of the turn. So I'm going to move these scouts up here. Length 14, so it looks like it's a 14 turn battle. So this game started going in the 90s. And so if you hit shift, you can actually overlap units. Hexes are 50 meters, are based on a 50 meter. I need these guys to, there we go. I just took an objective. What can I see from here? What is this, a command unit? FO. What can you see so far? Not much. Scout element forward. And this game was really designed and came into its own in the 1990s. But man, it's really survived the test of time. And if you're trying to learn basic wargaming, like modern style wargaming, even just basic tactics, Steel Panthers, any of this series are great. I was preferential to Steel Panthers World at War rather than this series, but there we go, got another objective. Oh, that's a mortar team. I really don't want to move them up much. I might leave them here. This is a command element. There we go. I'm gonna put that machine gun up there so I have a better position. And this got to be my command element here. That's an FO again. That's going to be command element. Sometimes they'll have infantry on your tank, and it'll tell you down here whether it's carrying infantry or not, and then you can drop them off. But one of the worst things in the world is when you're assaulting forward and lead with the assaultants. You're leading with your troops that are riding on a tank, and then suddenly you have a you get hit, half of the infantry riding the tank killed. That'll work. Is this a AA gun? Okay, cool. And another, so they may come in with some aircraft. Have here, an aircraft and a machine gun. We'll leave those. When you move artillery, a lot of times you can't move it. So I think that's pretty much all of our movement for this turn. Other options are over here. And you just go over here to the preferences, and you can pick up sound volume, animation. If you want battle effects, you can listen, get background battle sounds. I'm not a fan of that. After a while, it just kind of wears on me a little bit, so I just let it go. Also, objective flags, so you can actually toggle them off. Now the objectives are no longer marked. I like to know where I'm going, and I also like to keep my unit flags. There we go. And I also like to keep my unit flags in your individual units. We have fast artillery. When the enemy fires artillery, it'll fire either single rounds or a blanket artillery barrage. And if you do a single round, you can wait 3 or 4 minutes for a turn to go by because the blanket artillery assault is, falling down on your head. Sound effects leave on. ID tags, that's these little tags here. I like to know what units I'm moving and what nationality they are, just because it makes it easier. And of course I've got breakdown. Command is on. I'm going to turn that off actually. With command, you have to pretty much keep your units within 1 hex of each other when they're infantry units, or they lose cohesion. I'm not a big fan of that. Or they lose command and there's bad morale effects. I'm just going to let that go. I like my units to be independently able to, and it jams your infantry up really bad. But a lot of the people that play the game, this version, that's why they like it. It's got the command feature. So we've got all that going on. You also have other preferences for searching, hitting, route, how good your tanks are, whether the AI is tank heavy or not. Just a bunch of options as far as what you want to do. Your artillery, if I recall correctly, is right up here. So, whoops. I can go up here, and I don't know where the enemy is concentrated, but I'm thinking you're going to have a concentration of enemy troops here and here, probably in here as well. So the question is, where am I going to bombard? Bombardment is not instant, and I've already got some pre-planned bombardment locations. What appears to be here, 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 and some bombardments coming here and here. So those are going to be coming in. And I've also got some aircraft as well, so it's going to be a couple turns, but this looks like it's probably some yeah. I think I'm going to hit near these objectives. I mean, I know they're going to have something holding up in here, right? I think we can. So I'll put have a fighter come in. Now generally you have what are bombardment. This is like your general artillery, and then you have smoke, and then you have cluster munitions somewhere. I think it's over here. I don't think these are cluster munitions. So I'm going to drop, I'm going to bombard that location there, and we're going to hammer these guys with some artillery, and just this position here needs to be hit. This building's definitely going to be fortified, and I'm going to hit it with 2 aircraft. This position I'm going to hit. This position. Now, aircraft are coming flying in. They can make a mistake and bomb your own troops. So it's always a good idea to give them, you know, a distance between your troops. There's always something back here. There's probably anti-air back here, so I'm gonna hit this hex here. And then with mortars, I'm gonna let this mortar section go for now. And I think what I might do is try to lay down a little smoke barrage when I have contact. All right, let's. Oh, we got some more here. Oh, got a couple more aircraft. What else do I want the aircraft to hit? Now, there's probably something back here. So I'll have one of our fish beds hit this position back here. I'm not sure if that's a cluster munition or not. No, it's not. Yeah, let's. You know, usually your aircraft do all right, but they don't do great. So I'm gonna just. I want to make sure that I'm hitting everything I can hit. Let's hit this spot here, even though it's a little close, a little danger close. And we'll hit something here. Now I want to keep it in the middle of the town. I want our aircraft just show a force. All right, so we're going to stop that there, and we will end our turn. And that's yes. So now the South Vietnamese side is going. So far there's no contact, so. And their turn's already over. So I'm up again. So we're gonna get moving here. Probably not good to end them in the open. Still no contact. Scout section moving up. Objectives taken. I'm not going to move that. I'm going to move that infantry down the road because, well, I want to clear this road so I can get my armor up the road. And right now you can already see why I'm playing with the command off, because I've split a platoon element up already. So our objective here, that's a dangerous spot to be because and if you right click, that's your unit looking around. Yeah, that's pretty much my infantry elements moving. I'm not going to move the FO. Well, might as well. How to move the armor. Shift. Try not, you gotta keep in mind that hexes are 50 meters. You really don't want to jam up your armor. And it's modern war, so man, when you run into World War II stuff, you'll get shots and nothing destroyed. But with modern armor, you'll get hits quick. Especially with these Type 59 tanks. They'll blow up pretty quick. Alright. No anti-air. Everything's moved. We're still moving to contact. I'm going to move this element to assault this position. This element's going to move in here and assault this. The rest of my force, my main force, is going to move down here, assault in here, and then move into the city. These troops, their job is to move towards this bridge. These guys are to move here. We're going to clear out this little ridge line here. I would imagine the enemy main line of resistance is going to be probably here, this little crescent right in here. This little area right here. This whole little hexagon of doom. You gotta, basically what's a hexagon here. So yeah, the hexagon of doom, I like that. Alright, that's that turn. Turn 2 out of 14. And yeah, it can start slow a little bit, but when the game heats up, there, I just got hit by artillery. And you see some of my troops were killed. And his artillery landed right on my armor. As your troops are hit, they'll be suppressed. Now this is my that was my artillery, my first artillery shooting, and that's all the enemy did this turn. All right, let's move up. I am shocked I did not get into contact there. Moving up the RPG team. Oh boy. Dangerous moving right now. So I've got basically a company of infantry advancing on the march. Not going to move my road element yet. And it does keep good stats of the units that the kills that you get, which is pretty cool. Each element is set into its components. So, for instance, okay, this is got to get us into contact here. So I'm going to move the rear unit first, this unit first, and so, yeah, he just fired what was probably some AK-47 fire and and I can't see him yet. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. So I'm getting bunched up. I don't think he killed anybody. So these guys are suppressed. So I can try to reduce their suppression by hitting the rally key. And so yeah, I just reduced their suppression, so they'll probably be able to move. Nope. Oh, I was able to sight the what are we dealing with here? NVA rifle squad that's dug in. Or it's not NVA, Vietnamese Army. So far, we've got contact. And these guys back here can't do it. Alright, can I move any of these guys? They're pinned. Let's see if I can rally them. Try rallying one more time. See if any of these guys can move anymore. Yeah, these guys can. Okay. We've now got another element shooting at us. So now we've got multiple. Okay, those guys retreated, it looks like. And I'm going to lay down some suppressing fire. And it'll tell you too what the percentage chance of hit. Their chance to hit is pretty darn good. Mine is not very good, but I'm still going to try to draw as much fire as I can. Tank, enemy armor, right there. What are we dealing with? T-55A. So they got some Russian equipment. That was another thing the Chinese were mad about was the improving relationship between China and the improving relationship between Vietnam and the Soviets. So I don't want to get any farther than that because I'm out in front of my yeah, he's not in vision, so good. So I'm trying to suppress that position. Now 10 of each turn. See, this unit is suppressed. Highly suppressed. So these are... And the commander was unable to rally them, so they got lots of some artillery barrage to suppress them. Terrain is important too, because you get vehicles can get stuck. If you're crossing a river, you're not using a bridge, you can get stuck. Lots of bad things can happen if you're in the wrong terrain. Okay, these infantry units have all moved. So we've taken a couple of objectives. We've taken some losses. We're on turn 3 of 14. Oh, we're going to move these guys up. We might really get to see something here. Nope. And we've taken that objective, so got some points. Points on the board. And we've got enemy armor blocking the way here. We're going to need to get rid of that. And we keep moving our infantry up in the right direction. And oh, they got a mini map here down in the right hand corner. It's not very big, but it does help a little bit. And we're getting ready to assault in here, so I might call in. One of the nice things too is over here you see all the smoke, and sometimes you can't see your unit, so they have a nice feature where you just hit that button and it clears the smoke for you, so you can see what's going on there. And what's also cool too is as the artillery barrages happen, you get damage to the terrain. I think I'm gonna lay. Well, I'll see what goes on up here. There's gonna be defenses in here. There'll be a defense here, here, and in here. And I was thinking about laying in a smoke barrage, but let's just fight our way in and see how it goes. We have to lay an artillery barrage. So when they shoot at us, we're going to get an opportunity to return fire. And that's we're really having a tough time dealing with this very simple pillbox, so. Now my artillery is starting to come in. So our pre-planned bombardment, part of it at least, hit. And now we're going to move in the... It's a machine gun or is it RPG team? Okay. Sniper. He's less likely to be hit if he's alone and in the open, so. Yeah, and if you've played this game a bunch, oh, now we've got eyes on enemy armor. Always a good idea before you assault in on a bunch of structures like that to have supporting infantry, so you've overlapping fields. So now we know there's enemy tank here. We might be adjusting. And let's see. My infantry's really anything here. And we just suffered a casualty. And he's just hammering that unit that's exposed. Rally these guys. Oh, they're not rallying. They can't see these guys. What I'm trying to do now is move in. Part of the problem with moving through the jungle is it's moving through the jungle. It's just, it takes a long time. And I don't have a long time to goof around. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull my armor up through here maybe, and then come down this way. How many shots do I have? I have 2 shots with this gun, so let's see if we can't. We could lose this that's part of the thing when you're attacking. You've got to take some risks. So yeah, I got pummeling this building. I just I can assault those across that rail bridge up there too. Artillery's landing. I think that's going to be it for the turn. Bummer we lost that self-propelled gun, but that was my own fault. That's sometimes what's happens when you're assaulting an objective and you really want to get economy of force on it and really try to suppress. So you can move here. There's gonna be, okay, still nothing. Okay, we've got to get some high ground here. Well, instead of being suppressed, I'm gonna lay down some smoke. Oops, maybe I can't. Oh, his suppression's 15, he can't do anything. We'll try to rally. I'll take another look, see if I can see anything. Okay, cool. I can lay down some smoke. There we go. Now he's gonna have trouble, you know, picking me out of the... So this is a nice elevated position for them to defend. It's gonna be really hard to crack it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in all my artillery to bear on it. Oh, that's probably because I'm on that unit. Fine. So we're doing some damage, and I know there's artillery here, so that means there's infantry around it. I'll drop a heavy barrage of artillery on that, and I'm going to... It's going to be a while since I get there, so I might as well. Some 130 millimeters, so that's some heavy stuff. And let's drop some heavy stuff. Oh, well, it's already been hit. Let's hit it again. Let's hit this spot here direct. And there we go. And that'll do it. All right, let's see how the next turn goes. Here comes aircraft. Get that tank. Let's see if we should get some suppression on the rest. Don't blow up that bridge. Let's see if we got anti-air coming up. damage to anything that's around it. And we've identified what looks like a car here. Oh, look at the armor. Damaged, but he's not knocked out. This tank is just going to be heavily suppressed. Oh, he's mobilized. Nice. The aircraft and the Air Force really knows what they're going after. Well, it's just the same thing. I wish I could avoid that tank. So I'm going to knock it out. Yes, got him. Oh, that tank's there we go. Go after you. Is it T-62? This is PT-76s up there. Yep. Light tanks. That was a PT-76, so we got the two off. Yes, more air, love it. Come on, get that PT-76. Army, there was a battle at a special forces camp in Vietnam where it was one of the few tank battles of Vietnam. Some PT-76s were engaged by American Army. It was one of the few places where that occurred. Wow, I've got a lot of air. Hopefully I get some damage here. Suppressed though. We can get him with this one. I don't remember the air assault down here. Looks like that's immobilized. goes there, it's hit. Wow, that was a great round for the assault by the Chinese. Well, I'm going to leave that there for episode 1 because we're about a half hour in. So I'll continue the series for episode 2. And this is a small taste of Win Steel Panthers main battle tank, or SPMBT. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm actually enjoying this fight, so it's pretty fun. And looking forward to getting rid of this tank right here and killing this infantry. It looks like they've routed out of there, so that's cool. We can start assaulting forward and moving towards the objectives. We're running shorter on time, so we're on turn 5. We're already 1/3 through the battle, and we really haven't gotten very far. So hope you enjoyed the battle, and I'll see you next time on the battlefield. Thanks.